On behalf of the AMS, welcome everybody and thank you for coming to our fourth architectural firm presentation.
Our office was founded on the design of Granville Island. If you imagine the city of Vancouver without Granville Island at its heart, it seems like that would be a huge loss. We see an equivalent opportunity in the new Student Union building.
We just spent a little bit of time looking at your problem, and this is a very rough model based on, again, the document that was in the newspaper the other day. And just to show quickly some of the possibilities and some of the ways we work.
We would actually like to build what we call a design cube in the sub for the critical period of the design. Ideally, it'd be a glass cube right out in the center of the sub, and that would be our home base for the design period. And we think it would be extremely powerful. I would be based here half-time to be immersed in the flow of the sub during the design process.
We started thinking about it for you guys because you have one of your program elements as a climbing wall. What would happen if you kind of engage the climbing wall, turn it into a green wall, create this object that's standing in the center of one of your spaces here, and you get a kind of dramatic double effect that's not only kind of iconic and cool, it's also doing something tremendous for the building.
We see this building as directly analogous to a city. And I think the way a city works is that it has places that are quite fixed, like the kind of formal public spaces, and lots of places that can grow and expand and kind of aggregate around them over time. What you need to do is create loose parts of the building and tight parts of the building. So the tight parts are the things that give the building character and quality and endurance, and the loose parts are the things that transform dramatically over time.
This is for an engineering building that we did. It's kind of like the diagram you have in a hybrid car. It shows in real time all the systems that we put over 1,000 data points in the building so that the engineers can look at their building in real time so that when the sun goes by a window they can actually see the effect on the building and understand what's happening. So all the systems are explicit, they're obvious, they're understandable.
There's 3 levels of green design. The first level of green design was do buildings that do less damage, that hurt the environment less. The next level, which is what you charged us with, is do buildings that actually are positive influences. The third level is do buildings, in my view, that go beyond the skin of the building to actually create a social revolution. And this is the kind of mechanism that we're really interested in.
How do you make a building into a kind of sustainable educator that sort of requires, in some ways, a relationship between ourselves and students, of course, to decide what that actually means.
Science and technology alone will not save the world. If we are going to deal with the current environmental catastrophe, there also has to be a social revolution. If you think about the maximum level of heating that you need to engage in, if we're able to take that off mechanical systems, what happens is that all the required equipment drops dramatically. Maybe it's sweaters that'll save the world as opposed to solar panels.
Can we take the whole ground plane and open it up so it effectively extends itself out into this space, makes use of the existing knoll, and maybe even allows the knoll to kind of extend inside somehow to make a gathering space outside that the knoll can be sort of the backdrop for, in fact, the kind of seating area in that space. The site is incredible and your program is incredible, and it would be very exciting to us to be a part of it.
I went to UBC. This is my short hair phase, and this is my longer hair phase.
It draws the return air. There's a pigeon in here. Draws the return air. That bringing the nature in.
For the last 5 years, I've gone to the Burning Man Festival in Nevada, which many of you know, it's this dramatic variety of different conflicting interests, every kind of personal passion you can imagine. And the place where the community comes together is to dance. Because so often architecture is thought of as just a static art, and for me, it's also very much about how people move through spaces.